This one was called Construction Innovation. We rebranded it Construction Technology. Some of the topics we're going to go over: innovation, field data collection tools. So it was a stick grant we just received or had 2 years ago. Then David's going to go over electronic ticketing, so e-ticketing, which is an initiative that WisDOT is pushing forward. Application on station, and then talk about drones, which is a hot topic. Then the as-built, right-of-way plats and soils, which we do have an external component to now. So consultants and contractors and municipalities or whoever wants to see those as-built or right-of-way plats can get them at their convenience and versus waiting hours or days to get them from WisDOT. And then talk about GIS, which David mentioned, and then artificial intelligence, which there is another AI one going on at the same time. Highway construction or construction technology. Every year, the highway construction technology progresses, fueled by the pursuit of greater efficiencies, so making things more smoothly, bringing in our data that is in the field, so we're not reducing the paper and making that data go right into our systems and databases, so we can use it for analysis, which would be the data integration, which the e-ticketing one is a great example of. David will talk about. Innovation such as geospatial. So a lot of the innovation stuff or a lot of the technologies that we are looking into have a geospatial component to them. So we do have a lot of geospatial. Obviously, the drones is a very hot topic, which this year we released ASP6 on the drones for contractors, and then with the consultants, we're releasing guidance coming this next month about certain things, which I'll talk about later. So these advancements revolution highway construction methods, setting the stage for future connectivity and resilience in infrastructure. Obviously, we do follow federal highways. They do have everyday counts, which you guys might be aware of. So this last one was EDC 7. I listed those right down on the screen here. They are calling for initiatives for Everyday Counts 8. So if you do have ideas out there, do encourage to read out to federal highways on those. So most of the innovations, or I should say a good chunk of those innovations or construction technologies that we do implement, are more of a nationwide item that they are looking at. One of our last, I guess, STIC. So STIC is the State Transportation Innovation Council. So we have members from industry on that council. Also, we do get grants from the federal highways to get seed money for certain technologies to investigate. So 2 years ago, we had the field data collection tools where we looked at 360 cameras. So taking a camera where we could stick down a culvert and turn it around and do the whole 360, take it back to our office. We're getting people out of the field to do those inspections. Also, they're driving down corridors with the camera hanging out a window. So when they get back to the office, they can do 360 on that road as well. GNSS devices, so global navigation system, satellite system. There's the other S, satellite. So connecting those devices to like on station to increase the accuracy, which we'll talk about on station a little bit later. Cradle point. So there were some complaints in some of the regions about obviously the hilly, bluffy areas in the west or in the urban areas, the taller buildings blocking signals. We did invest in looking at some cradle points to connect to different. If you have a U.S. Cellular and a Verizon in there, it'll pick up the one that has the highest strength. So we had ordered a few of those. The pipe tracker, which is, I guess, right in the middle of the screen there, is one that we do culvert inspections. So they drive that right into a culvert. They can't get a man in. Has a 360 camera as well. They can do inspections with that. Emily boat, which you'll see on the bottom here, they do have a sonar to look at the scouring of bridges. Also, they do it for if there's a big flooding, they can send a boat out there versus having a man I guess, a rowboat or something, or a canoe or kayak. And then drones, obviously, we with the federal guidance of banning certain Chinese drones, we are looking at investing in obviously American-made or the ones that are not banned on that green or blue list, which we'll talk about a little bit later.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to highlight 4 mobile applications that our field staff have been using in the field to assist in administering their contracts. One application has been used for over 25 years, while the others have been in a pilot mode for the last couple of years. These include e-ticketing with the Haul Hub agency portal, OnStation for locating yourself on a project, Mobile Inspector for creating daily work reports, and the Trimble Mobile Measure Service for accurately measuring project assets. Let's first start with e-ticketing. In the past, material suppliers submitted paper tickets to our field staff for asphalt, concrete, and aggregate. The move is going toward e-ticketing or electronic ticketing methods such that will increase efficiency, accuracy, and safety on our projects. The first phase was with contractors providing an electronic copy of the ticket through PDF methods. Then a few years ago, contractors started using electronic digital ticket systems where they could submit an electronic digital ticket to our field staff using a mobile application on a phone. Haul Hub is one of those companies that provides an e-ticketing digital ticketing platform. Haul Hub approached AASHTO, the provider of AASHTOware Project, to become part of their AASHTOware Alliance program, where they would come alongside AASHTO to provide a platform for our field staff to receive the electronic tickets sent from any electronic ticketing platform that a supplier or a contractor was using. It wouldn't have to be Haul Hub's platform. It could be any platform out there like Command Alcon or Skywatch. There are several others out there as well. Using the Haul Hub agency portal, our staff can see all the tickets in one single platform for consistency. This service is free for the contractors and subcontractors to submit ticket information through. It will also be used to interface with AASHTOware Project Construction so that the ticket information can then go directly into our daily work reports, eliminating the need for manual entry. This slide depicts visually how the material supplier can have their application for e-ticketing provide that information to the contractor so that they can sign off on it. Then it is moved into the Haul Hub agency portal provided by WisDOT, where the field staff can see it on either their mobile phone or a laptop computer. Then the ticket information can be moved into AASHTOware Project Construction to complete the daily work report. Here's an example of our existing standard specification for electronic load tickets. Currently, our 25 spec indicates that load tickets may be provided as a suitable substitute for printed tickets. It's not mandatory at this time. However, we conducted a pilot last year where certain contracts were required to provide an electronic ticket for selected concrete and HMA items. Our pilot was successful in the use of the Haul Hub agency portal, although some contractors were still submitting tickets using their licensed platform. We are expanding the pilot this year so that HMA contracts, concrete, and concrete masonry contracts that have the tonnage or cubic yards that exceed a certain amount will have the provisions written into their contract for the specific bid items. Electronically ticketing will be required in those instances. There is an exemption process and a form that the contractor can submit if the contractor can't meet those requirements. The next application that I'd like to highlight is OnStation. The basic premise for OnStation is to be able to have the overlay of the project plan on your mobile device so that a user can locate themselves with stationing and offset on a project plan whenever they're walking around on the project. We first became aware of OnStation a few years ago as our consultants were using it to administer contracts and made the WisDOT staff aware of it. It's still in a pilot mode, and it's not being used in all regions across the state. It's slowly gaining some use across WisDOT, and we have a number of our licenses that our field staff use. There are other uses for OnStation, for instance, like filling out forms. We've had the WisDOT nuclear density testing form on OnStation, so there's a lot of individuals that are doing nuclear density testing and using OnStation to locate themselves and then automatically enter the location information into the form. We recently started working with OnStation to develop a team to work on a potential integration with AASHTOware Project Construction, similar to what we do with the Haul Hub portal. We've recently also been working with OnStation where they would automatically load the contract plans that are greater than $1 million into the OnStation application. Here's an example of what the satellite view image using OnStation looks like with the project stationing overlaid on that satellite map. And then a blue pinpoint locating the user is shown. It's real quick and easy to locate themselves on the project, especially when slope stakes or hubs may not be visible. This is a good way to help save time and labor when wandering about your project trying to figure out where you are. Another benefit of using OnStation is the ability to use your phone's camera to take pictures that are at a particular location and have that location information added to the picture so that you have the ability to also label those pictures with information that then can be attached to your daily work reports. Our next mobile application that I'd like to highlight is Mobile Inspector. This is the application that we've been using for over 25 years. Our field staff first used this alongside Field Manager, and now they're using it in conjunction with Castleberg Project Construction. It is a web app that is used by our field staff to post quantities of items installed by the contractor and create their daily work reports. The nice thing about Mobile Inspector is that you don't have to be in a connected mode, which can happen on projects in a remote location. The daily work report is locked at the time you complete it, and when you do have connection, it will automatically upload to Castleberg Project Construction. Mobile Inspector also has the ability to do photo attachments, and it works with the Trimble Mobile Measure Service, which I'll be highlighting next. If you happen to be in the field and you need to have access to Mobile Inspector for a project that you're an inspector on, you can refer to our Castleberg Project Knowledge Base website, or AWPKB, for installation and user instructions. The last application that I'd like to highlight is the Trimble Mobile Measure Service that has been developed by Trimble, the manufacturer of mobile data collectors that are used in the field for measuring and collecting data. This particular service integrates with Mobile Inspector. You can load the Mobile Inspector app on your Trimble data collector. The data collector will then capture digital map location and asset data, whether it's length of curb, square footage of a sidewalk, or the volume of a material stockpile. That information can then be passed to Mobile Inspector, where the quantity information that you just measured can automatically be moved to the quantity field on your daily work report, posting for that particular day. How that looks is you have a Trimble data collector with Trimble Access on it. You install Mobile Inspector on the data collector, measure your asset, then move that quantity that you measured into Mobile Inspector, create your daily work report, and then sync the daily work report up to Castleberg Project Construction. Finally, here are some examples of the Trimble data collectors that our staff have been using in the field for measuring, recording, and uploading asset information using the Mobile Measure Service.
Moving into drones. We did add a special provision this last year. We did work with different consultants on creating these standards for drones. We heard there was a lot of drone usage out there. There wasn't consistency of how drones were being used. People were flying without licenses and became a risk. And the WisDOT decided maybe we need to provide more guidance and get more structure around the drone program that is, on the WisDOT highways. The main points, I'm not going to go through the whole provision with you guys. It's not very long. You guys can look it up. And the guidance for consultants will be coming out next month, which will be pretty much mirroring the special provision. But the licensing and compliance, so there's FAA Part 107 licensing that all pilots will need to have. You can't just go out there and fly a drone without having licensing. There is compliance items that people need to be aware of when flying drones. So we did document those. If you have a license, you already know about all those compliance issues. So we didn't go into every detail of those compliance items in the provision, because once you have the 107, you should understand those compliance items. Flight approvals. So understanding that, yes, you can fly, but the project staff want to know what you're flying for. There's certain things like for quantities or measurements of how those should be flown. And we need to work with WisDOT staff to make sure those are accurate and they meet the expectations of WisDOT. So we do have flight approval. We also want to ensure there's safety out there, that you have your spotter, that you're notified the correct people of what the drone's going to be out there for. So there's not, accidents out there. So there is safety involved in it, which returns to incident reporting. So if something does happen out there, WisDOT's aware of it, the authorities are aware of it, and everybody is aware of the incident that occurred. Consultant guidance, like I said, will be out there next month. Again, same thing as the provision. And then if you do read the ASP6, you'll see that there's a tentative application for flight authorization for WisDOT. That's in the draft mode right now. It's pretty much saying you got your 107. Maybe give us a copy of it. It's pretty high level, what you're flying for, etc. So when the project manager is aware if there's a flight out there, he at least has what it's going to be used for. The banned list sounds so bad, but with national defense, the NDA is prohibiting banning Chinese manufacturing drones in the U.S. One of the things that came through the federal government is a ban on certain nation produced drones. So we worked with FHWA to make a transition plan that should work for everybody. So in starting obviously this month, no one should be purchasing any of those banned drones. And then in 2026, those banned drones will no longer be used on WisDOT projects. What can be used for WisDOT? We do recommend following the green and blue list. Obviously, they're hyperlinks, but I'm not going to open them up here. So they do list all the drones that are approved. And we do encourage looking at those two lists. Obviously, one's more for national defense versus the other one. But obviously, those two will work for WisDOT for now. Moving on to as-built. I think one of the issues that we've heard from consultants and municipalities, counties, contractors, or anybody is getting access to those documents. So the right-of-way plats or the as-built are the two bigger ones, and having to wait and do open records requests and waiting days to get these documents. We created a portal, a GIS portal, which I can show you probably outside the thing, or there'll be more communication coming about it. But you can actually log into a GIS map. You can pick the segment of road or a certain county or municipality that you want, and all those documents, all those or right-of-way plats, you can pull out at your convenience. So you don't need to contact WisDOT. You can still. Obviously, we were always customer services first, but you can do it on your own. So if you can't sleep one night and you need to get some as-built, there you go. At your fingertips now. So geographical information systems, I think one of my team members that I work with, Dan Johnson, does a lot for DTSD and the GIS unit. I would say 50 or 70% of these maps are created with him involved. So I did just list a whole bunch of them out there. They are free for everybody to go out and look at. If you do have an idea something that you would like to see geographically, we are always willing to build more maps to help the general public. But let's kind of work through them with the highway construction skills training, which obviously I saw a table there. I sat at that table in the other room. Recently, we had the Wisconsin-Michigan border timber routes. So this was an issue, I think, with the legislator. I think you know more than I do. Culvert inventory, obviously, I think that's been out there for several years now. Height modernization program, roundabouts with BTO, curb ramps and sidewalk inventory, asphalt pricing, the DBA or disadvantaged business, the improvement program. So I think there's 3 different maps for the improvement programs. There's a 6-year, the STIP, which is 4 years, and then the 2-year construction one. Traffic counts, winter maintenance, seasonal weight restrictions, rustic roads, scenic byways, adopt a highway, ag roads. And this is just what I quickly grabbed to put on a slide. There are as many more out there. If you are looking for something geographically, please let us know. The NearMap is an aerial technology company that provides high resolution aerial imagery and location intelligence. So NearMap is more for the urban area. So Milwaukee gets multiple flights, Madison, I think Eau Claire, Green Bay. So all the metropolises of Wisconsin out there will get multiple flights. And what's great about NearMap, it keeps the image. So you see at the bottom here, it's just 2 images. and it shows the date, so you can do a side-by-side comparison of what the image looked like before and what it looks like after. I know they've used it for some troubleshooting of something got wrecked, and they didn't know if the utility company did it or some person did it. And through doing this comparison, they figured it out what the issue was. So it has been coming in handy. Nearmap does have an AI component they have released where they can detect sidewalks, manhole covers, light poles, solar panels, swimming pools. There's a whole bunch of different AI things you can just run it on that area, and it'll detect all those items in that area. So I think it's still kind of in the early ages. It's some successful, but I think with future growth of it, it's going to be very important to us. Moving on so going from near map AI to artificial intelligence, which obviously there's another one going on right now. I think the two big AIs that I think about are generative AI and machine learning. Generative AI generating new content. So if you're familiar with ChatGPT or MS Copilot, those are more the generative AI or machine learning. Systems learn from data to improve on its performance. So kind of rinse and repeat those algorithms to make it fine tune it to pick up like on if you're running. So we take our pathways data where we take our vans, we go down the road, we teach it to learn what signs are and work on those algorithms to pick up certain assets on the road. Moving on. So WisDOT does have a research project going on where we're working with the UW Madison and UW Milwaukee, looking more at AI for WisDOT. Some of the things that we're looking at are transportation asset management, which I talked about, picking up those signs or picking up pavement markings, using that, maybe going out there and doing mobile LiDAR statewide and picking up all those assets through mobile LiDAR AI. Transportation safety, transportation operations, autonomous vehicles, and then obviously generative AI. What I talked about before is Nearmap. It's a machine learning. MS Copilot is one I use. I think my wife, I got her onto it now, so she's using it all the time. And then if you do work with WisDOT, you probably aware of Box, and Box does have a generative AI as well, summarizing notes for us or cleaning up some of our content when we do publish stuff. If you guys do have ideas of technologies, please let David and I know. We want to hear what you guys are using, or this David. We want to hear what you guys are using. We want to collaborate with you. If you do want to be part of a team about some new innovation or technology in your area, please let us know. We're happy to have external partners as part of those teams. I see the VPI right there, virtual public involvement, looking at Esri Hub. We have people looking at that with us. We have people on the big on station. Drones. I think a lot of the consultants helped us write that drone policy. So we do ask that you guys do help and let us know what you guys got going on or where you want to help. We're always willing, to listen and work together.
Thank you again for all your time.